Witness, I'll defer to Ranking Member Buchanan to introduce him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a pleasure. We have a gentleman from one of our local firms and a constituent in my district, Stam Stathis, to the committee today. We appreciate you coming. He's a certified public accountant with the CPA Associates in Bradenton, Florida. They are one of the larger regional firms in the area, highly regarded and respected. He's a certified financial planner. He also does a lot of personal financial planning. A specialist in terms of small business, an expert in financial planning consulting. He does all different types of small businesses and some larger businesses, including construction, manufacturing, real estate, medical, legal, and agriculture. I want to welcome you today to the subcommittee and look forward to hearing your testimony.
Okay. Thank you, Ranking Member Buchanan and Chairman Schrader and committee members. My name is Stam Stathis, and as you've heard, I'm a partner in the firm of CPA Associates located in Bradenton, Florida. It's my honor and pleasure to come before you today to testify. During the span of my career, I've gone from posting manual books to the computer age. As you've heard, you have many thousands of pages in the Internal Revenue Code. When I first started, we had 2 small books. We could carry the entire Internal Revenue Code around basically on our hand. The regulations were three separate books, so you literally could walk in and place on your table a stack of books about this high. I have no idea how large that would be now. I don't want to know. I have it on my computer, and I can access it in a much more expedient manner. You would think that with the advent of the computer age that you could have more quickly and accurately prepared information. The problem that we've found is that you're only as good, the information is only as good as the people who input the information. So that if you put a lot of garbage in, you get a lot of garbage out. And you just produced a very easily readable piece of garbage. So we've had a large change in the way that we report information, but we don't have the knowledge that has gone along with it. I spend hundreds of hours every year reading material just to keep abreast of the current tax law and trying to understand currently what's going on. And it's darn well near impossible for me, let alone a small business owner, to be able to keep up and not run afoul of the tax code. So what have they done? With the added complexity of preparing an accurate tax return, many small business owners have either been forced to hire a competent professional to aid them in preparing their tax return at considerable expense, I might add, or go it on their own and hope they don't prepare a return with too many inaccuracies. However, incorrect preparation of tax returns is not the only risk the business owner faces. The Internal Revenue Code, as currently written, has very complex and in some arcane rules for the uninformed small business owner. If there's one thing I want you to take away from what I'm going to talk about on some of these issues is that if you could sit in my seat and feel the anger and frustration from the small business owner and the anger at how much they have to pay me a lot of times to come in and fix things to make sure that they're not running afoul of the Internal Revenue Code, if you could do that, this code would be changed tomorrow. It's just way too complex, and it has way too many rules. I've identified 13 different areas in my testimony that I thought were pertinent. I'm going to start with the first one, which was choice of entity. Choice of entity, what you have there is you have LLCs, you have corporations, you have S corporations. One of the things that we could do there is even out the playing field on what the benefits are, make sure that we have more consistency. One of the things you'd also like to do is allow partners and sole proprietors to participate in the FICA system so that they could pay their taxes on a regular basis. Capital formation, as you've heard, most owners plow their money right back into their business. They don't understand how come they owe so much in taxes, and that's because they're putting their money back into the business. Shareholder health insurance for deduction on the return. It's passed out for S corporations, and it's deductible in a full corporation, and then you have sole proprietor rules. These things should be even back and put into the business. We don't need to just change paper here on things like that. Shareholder loans to an S corporation, they need to be part of basis for losses. Inadvertent S corporation terminations, we need to have much more relaxed rules in being able to maintain your S corporation. Listed property record keeping is way too onerous for most people. I mean, the cell phone, I understand we've had bills introduced a number of times to get that corrected. We have automobile records that have been mentioned, business gifts and promotion, home office deduction. I could go on hours about that. Unless you get rid of the exclusivity of use provision in there, you're going to have problems. Fiscal year flexibility to go to other than a calendar year. Fixed asset addition, retirement plans, they all need reform to be equalized amongst the different kinds of entities. I would also like to say that my spouse is a small business owner, and I spend hours preparing her own tax return, which is included in ours. It's a Schedule C, and it's difficult to do every year. And I have her maintain automobile records, and I've had her tell me that other attorneys laugh at her when they see her out in the car writing down the mileage because I won't go without having those records kept on a contemporaneous basis. So it is very difficult for a small business owner to keep those kind of records. And anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Stathis.